Right, so today I'll be talking a little bit about my ocean advocacy story about SDG 14 as well as 30 by 30. So my name is Brigitte Gunawan. I'm a senior in high school, and this is my last year in high school in Australian Independent School, Indonesia. And I will be talking a little bit about my personal story with the ocean and how I'm connected to it. I am also a competitive swimmer. That's why I have this bond with water, and I've always enjoyed being in the water, especially in the ocean. I am keen on pursuing studies in marine biology, and I have a passion. I found my passion for the ocean through snorkeling. So I've been involved in several youth organizations like Bye Bye Plastic Bags Jakarta as a translator. I also run my school's first ocean conservation club called Blue Team, which advocates for marine issues through social media. I also took part as becoming an extern for Paragon 1 with National Geographic and the Nature Conservancy. And I also had the incredible opportunity to work with Earth Echo International as an Ocean Echo 30 by 30 fellow, and where I launched 30 by 30 Indonesia. And that will be another topic I'll be discussing today. Before we dive into 30 by 30, let's talk about Sustainable Development Goal number 14, which is one of the 17 SDGs created by the United Nations. And it focuses on life below water. And the aim here is to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. And we know that there are lots of marine issues going on, of which includes marine pollution, plastic pollution, ocean warming, eutrophication, acidification, fishery collapse, and there are increasing dead zones in the ocean. Yet we know that over 3 billion people rely on the ocean for their livelihoods. And this is where we need to protect marine key biodiversity areas, which are not already protected. So let's talk about 30 by 30 Indonesia, which is a movement that I launched as an Ocean Eco Fellow that aims to educate and mobilize support for 30 by 30 as both a national and global goal for the oceans. And here 30 by 30, as you may already know, means to protect and conserve at least 30% of the world's ocean by 2030 through a network of marine protected areas. And here, marine protected areas are regions where no extractive or destructive activities can take place. These are areas of reduced stress, allowing the opportunity for marine life to thrive and recover. It gives benefits to marine life and human livelihoods. It improves the ability of marine organisms to adapt to climate change, and it can increase species survival and help us achieve a sustainable future. And the ocean is so important for us, and that's why we need to protect it, because more than half of the world's oxygen comes from the ocean, yet only over 2% is protected. So now let's talk about 30 by 30 Indonesia. This movement has actually reached over 10,000 people through social media outreach, with 1,500 directly participating in our workshops and webinars, and also other events. And I would like to also mention that this movement has garnered the attention of Bali's provincial government, namely the Marine and Fisheries Service at Nusa Penida, which is a marine protected area off the coast of Bali, Indonesia. And as you can see in these pictures, the government officials are holding a sign that says 30 by 30 in the center, like this sign in the center here. And they're posted these pictures on their official website talking about monthly monitoring programs in the marine protected area. Next, I also was able to design these masks, like as you can see here. And these were reusable, and I distributed them for free to teachers and students, the media team at an ocean event, local tourists and tourist providers, as well as youth organizations, as you can see on the screen. I was also able to collaborate with the Coral Triangle Center during their coral reef monitoring, rehabilitation, and planting program. And as you can see on the screen, they post holding the sign 30 by 30 Indonesia at their coral nursery site. And the idea here was to create a forum where people can voice their support for the ocean, whether it be for the national goal to protect at least 30 million hectares by 2030, or for the global goal, which is 30 by 30, for 30% of the world's ocean. And we gained about 400 people pictures from 15 countries, most of them coming from Southeast Asia and the Asia Pacific. And I was also able to host several outreach events in over 10 schools with leveraging students and athletes from more than 10 schools and having 700 engaged. And these events were virtual and on-site, talking about why the ocean is important, about 30 by 30, about marine protected areas. And these involved students from primary school all the way to high school, as well as some university students as well. And lastly, we hosted a webinar called Inspiring the Youth to Protect Our Ocean, which had 118 participants from 13 countries. And the list of these cities and countries can be seen on the right top corner of your screen. And we had speakers from the Coral Triangle Center and ASEAN's youth organizations, IO Enviro. We had topics about marine protected areas, about sharks and how we are changing the public's perception about sharks, as well as environmental activist guided panels, as well as ocean conservation in general. And overall, we've gained support from Bali's provincial government, teachers and students from junior school, high school to university, athletes and coaches, especially as a competitive swimmer, most of them being from the swimming background, as well as local youth organizations, tourist and tourist service providers, youth across Southeast Asia and the Asia Pacific region. And all of these pictures and videos and campaign updates can be found mostly on social media, on Instagram and YouTube. And that's all from me. I hope that you've learned something and have been encouraged to protect our ocean. Thank you.
That was unreal. How long ago did you start this?
Oh, this started back in July. The 30 by 30 Indonesia was part of the Ocean Echo 30 by 30 fellowship with Earth Echo. So it was a 3-month program back in July and running through the end of the year as well.
So you've done all of that since July?
Yeah.
Man, wow, that's amazing. How did you get so many different countries to participate in your 30 by 30? Like even just holding the sign and getting them involved, stuff like that?
I basically got help from my connections, and I also utilize social media, and that really that actually surprised me, the amount of people coming from different nations just through social media. That's why I think that we need to utilize social media to for environmental issues like this.
Yeah, that's incredible. Really great job.
What kind of unique challenges do you face being based out of Indonesia in this case versus, like, let's say, a more Western country?
I would say that generally speaking, like, we know that we're an island nation, and we depend on the ocean for the economy and whatnot. But the idea of marine issues here are sometimes distant to landlocked communities. And like the essence of how the ocean provides more than half the world's oxygen, that's not really known to the general public. And we know that the ocean is something important, but most of the time we don't realize how we need to take action to that the ocean is like in trouble, and we need to take action to protect it. So that's one of the huge issues.
Yeah, you run into that issue everywhere, just people undereducated that don't actively see what it is. Like, how does this affect me? Not understanding how interconnected we actually are with the ocean life. We have a question from the chat from Carabelle. She said, great presentation. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years with this, or just in general?
In general, I'm graduating high school this year, so I hope to be studying marine biology and taking 30 by 30 into the next level with more science. And I will be like in the next few months, I'll be having some coral restoration programs and events, and I hope to continue that over the next 5 years and hopefully establish this as an actual organization.
Wow, sounds like you found your passion and are really going after it. I'm impressed. I did not have my life figured out like that at your age, that's for sure. I still don't.
Do you have how you go diving quite a bit and snorkeling and all?
Yeah, I go snorkeling when I visit the islands.
Okay. And what do you have going on over the summers?
I would typically I would just go to the coral reefs and I would see I couldn't go deep because I don't have my license and everything. So it would probably be the fish in the coral reefs in general. So yeah, but generally that area in the Nusa Penida, the pictures I had before, they're famous for the mola mola fish and they have stingrays and whatnot there. But I just haven't had that chance to meet them in person.
I would love, I'm gonna email you separately. I wonder if we can maybe get you into like a summer program in the States or maybe where you're helping maybe to guide other students. Would that be of interest?
Yeah, of course, I would love to.
Nothing certain yet, but I have a connection that I think might be good and maybe we can work something out.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can you share with me your email real quick? Then I'll pass it along. And also, if you could, do you have could you share with me your presentation?
Sure. Let me try.
I'll email you and then and I'll
So Todd,
yeah.
Todd, something to keep in mind is that this is all recorded as well, so we will have this presentation once Jordan gets the editing done, and we also have your email saved too.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna still I'm gonna make a connection right now to a woman named Tara Short. She runs a program called Green Adventures, where she works and focuses on getting students in the US to travel kind of like around the world. And usually she has local guides helping to do stuff. I'm wondering if maybe you aren't the student who's traveling, you're the student who's guiding. And I think that'd be a really cool opportunity for you. I don't know if it's something that's a possibility or not, but I think you'd be a really great person that she should get to know. Cool.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then, oh, you gave me the link already. Awesome. Thank you. So I will share that with her and I'll include you on the email and everything, and we'll go from there. Cool.
Thank you. Yep.
All right. I'll talk with you later.
I guess one of my questions, you're an amazing presenter, and I have a couple of questions. Is how did you find the Youth Environmental Summit is one of them, and then another one is, who else have you spoken with, or have you done conferences or other events in Indonesia or your part of the world before? I'm curious if you're a pro at this.
Well, I learned about the Yes Summit from Earth Echo, from Sean specifically. And I guess I've been talking just like these past few months. I was on an Instagram live at the United Nations Biodiversity channel on Instagram, where we talked about 30 by 30 as well. I was also on an IG live with Jeremy McCain from Ultramarine. And here in Indonesia, I was able to, I have connections with the Coral Triangle Center. I've been interviewing them for my research for the National Geographic and Nature Conservancy project. So I've been talking with the Nusa Penida project leader, the one who organizes the marine protected area, and the people who are actually planting a coral garden in Bali, the government officials as well. So that's why I'll be hosting this event in a few months, where it's something I'm really excited about, because we're gonna be planting some corals and inviting youth to come into. So.
And what ultimately happens with these corals?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yep. What ultimately happens with these corals?
Oh yeah, so when the project that I'm working on, these corals will be part of a new coral garden. So it will be planted in a fishing village, a small fishing village in Bali. It's called Columban, and they're planning to have a 1 hectare coral garden in the next few years. And this project I'm working on is specifically for the basis, the foundation of that coral garden. And especially because that area is popular for its diving tourism, and that's why these corals are going to be like we're hoping to have more fish come in and more species come in.
I heard a very interesting study in which researchers would play underwater the acoustic sounds of coral, just like what it sounds like in a coral. Sorry, we're cooking in the background. And they found that by having the coral sound of the ocean played into the coral, like the area, more fish and other organisms would come to the area. Have you heard of this at all?
No, but now that I'm thinking of it, like I learned that the coral reefs are like busy cities, so I think that makes sense.
Yeah. So it might be a cool thing to also think about, like how could you incorporate that into the farming and the garden component? Like maybe that would actually encourage more even quicker growth, if you'll have all the other organisms kind of there to help, the corals do just that, grow.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
All right, very good, very good. Thank you so much. This is really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a very excellent presentation. I can't believe how much you're doing already. It's crazy. So if there's no further questions, right now we are still running into a slight scheduling issue, but we can play another video now while we wait for the next presenter to show up. And thank you once again for presenting.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great day.
What are you going to choose, Clayton, for your next video roulette?
She was awesome.
Yeah, that was sweet. She's got to figure it out, man.